My name is David Stluka. I'm a sports photographer from Oregon, Wisconsin. I've been photographing sports for the past 20 years. There was always a part of me when I was a kid that wanted to be part of football, and I think after you start growing up, you realize that you're not going to be playing football at that level, but there's always a lot of other opportunities, and photography was one of those opportunities that it was something that I loved to do, and I could be around sports. Got my first experience in the darkroom and taking pictures and developing photos, and it was an art, it was a fine art black and white class, but I kept taking photos of the football team and tennis teams and did a lot of sports. When I first started taking photos, I had great access, and the coach would give me this great access. He would say, "Am I in your way?" And so I thought that was great. And then I started selling the photos to the players, and so that was my first experience. And then I went to work for the media department at our school. So now that was when I first started shooting and getting the bug to all of a sudden now you're getting paid to be there and to document history. Any event, you really have to look at what the game is. A lot of times during early preseason stuff, like for the Badgers, if the basketball team is playing a red-white scrimmage, your strategy is going to be different than covering a game against Duke or a game against Ohio State. In those games, there's so much energy at the game because of the opponent that you're playing. And you really need to capture the whole environment, the crowd, the fans, the signs, the players. The intensity is totally different, and the bench and the players and the coaches and all that stuff. And so when you're shooting those games, you need to photograph the entire experience for the fans. I've shot 3 now. I shot Super Bowl 33, 44, and 45. The Super Bowl is unlike any sporting event. There's a lot of more media than you're ever experienced before. This year's Super Bowl in Dallas had over 5,000 credentialed media, and so you're battling with all these people, and it's a harder event to cover than a regular season game, and so you kind of have to take a different approach to it. You're trying to photograph the event, the stadium, the fans, the players, and their emotions are a lot different during a Super Bowl because it means so much. The interesting thing about photography, for the longest time, there weren't huge advancements like there are today with digital photography. And so things slowly progressed. Films got a little bit better. They were introducing a lot of different films. And then you fast forward to 2002 when I first got my first digital camera. And the advancement, how far photography has come since then is just amazing. I started out with a 4 megapixel camera, went to an 8 megapixel camera, 10 megapixel, 21 megapixels. So you're shooting all these new digital equipment. It makes it a lot easier in some ways, but it's more demanding in others. And so it's been an interesting ride. It's kind of interesting with the social media. I've been on Facebook for the last 3 years, and this year is one of the first years that I've really seen how much it's growing. And there's a lot of people that I meet on the street that they come up to me and talk to me and say, hey, I enjoy your photography. And the greatest part of photographing events is having the access. I have great access that most people never have an opportunity to experience. And so my photos try to capture that. I try to capture the experience, behind the scenes stuff that most people never see until they see the photos. But they also, if they've watched the game or if they were there, that these photos add to their experience, their memories. One of the fans said the Ohio State game was one of the best 13 minutes of a Badger basketball game that he's ever experienced. And so those are kind of neat things. And then there was somebody else that mentioned thanks for recording history to go with his memories of being there at the game. And those are the things that are fun. Because you do look at, there's certain images, there's one image in particular from that game that showed the excitement, the players celebrating and stuff like that, that showed the excitement. And that's one of those things that photo will probably be used a lot, in the years to come, just because it was a huge moment for Badger sports. It was the first time they beat a #1 team since 1962. And the emotions, the players, the fans, everything from that game was something, it was a great experience to be a part of, and to be able to record history for the Badgers, and to have that, to look back, I think in 20 years, 30 years, that this day will be, hopefully maybe in 20 years they'll say the last time we ever beat somebody was 2011. So that stuff is the fun part of my job.